I'm recording here. Okay, so I've lost count, 35, 36, 37, I don't know. By the way, I don't know if you started playing with the new search tool in our weekly webinars. Now that when you go to biocoherence.net and you click on top of learn, you can now get the weekly Q&A, which is our current webinar. And you can just ask a question and it will search across something like 650 clips that were cut from all the webinars. And it will give you a direct answer to your question, and it's really powerful. So it's a great tool. It will be directly integrated right into the app into a next version. But probably not the one that we will release tomorrow, because the one that we will release tomorrow is just focused on playing the harmonic boosts offline, which means until now the harmonic boosts were computed in real time, and it led to some sound artifacts on low-end devices. So we still had this huge work of doing the same that we did for the personal guide, which is pre-compute everything so that you can safely switch off the device and so on. So I'm happy to say that it's now working pretty well for the harmonic boost. So we are just doing the last tests before the release, but I think we could probably release tomorrow. So it just looks like that. When you open any harmonic boost, I have to click here, of course. So you go to any category and you open, I don't know, this one, and you go to harmonic boost. And by the way, there is a new layout. If you're on a big screen, it will now be on the left side, as you can see. So you have a short time to load it, and now it's ready to play. So if I start playing it, it will not compute in real time. It will just play it from, I don't know if you read it. Anyway, it will just play it from a file. So what is happening? It's downloading from our server for all the pre-computed items. So basically all the white items are pre-computed and downloaded in a few seconds max and stored then locally on your computer. And when that is done, you can play it even closing the screen on a mobile, for instance, and you have the on-screen controls like the Spotify controls and so on. And you can go forward and skip items and you will get the title of the current items on the screen. When you add some stimuli, so you click on add stimulus and you add something on top of it. So you can just expand that and add, I don't know, hair, for instance. Of course, this will be a new computed part because, as you remember, we will play first the physical structure, and then we will embed the stimuli frequencies on top of it. So now, when you play the harmonic boost, it will recompute this part as a new complete part with all the stimuli that you added on top of it. So it will need a few seconds to compute it, and it will play offline directly. So when you add some stimuli on top of the white parts, it will need a few seconds to compute it only one time. And then, of course, it will store the computed audio on your device, and it will send it to the server if this is done for a client of yours. So your client, when he opens your harmonic boosts, everything is ready. He just has to download everything from our server and it will be ready to play. So I think it's really important because it was probably one of the last recurring problems that we had with the app, that some people had problem playing the real-time harmonic boosts and were forced to create the offline MP3 to be able to listen to it. It is better now because you can play the full-length program. So you are not limited to 20 minutes if you go into a complete recording, for instance, you take this one. You will, if it's a harmonic boost that has been done according to your priorities, you see you often get something like 33, 34 priorities, automatic priorities, and it often leads to something like 1 hour of harmonic boost. So if you do the MP3, it's not possible to listen to 1 hour of harmonic boost because it's limited to 20 minutes. Whereas now, oh, this is a bug, of course. I shouldn't show you that. If you click on real-time boost, you can play the full 1 hour, including the stimuli and so on. So this is the major news from the 128 version that will come tomorrow. It's really important. So we will do new versions, especially for this. Another nice thing is we are trying to do some more welcome onboarding texts for the users. And this one will be presented the first time a user is launching the app. So welcome to BioCoherence, and a quick explanation of everything we do into the app, because some things are obvious for us and not at all obvious for our first-time users. So you can just get a little bit of text to explain what we do, and you see it just checks everything that you read. And you can, of course, click back on it if you want to read it again and so on. And you just have to click and you can read everything. So it's just a quick intro to BioCoherence. By the way, we have added some, we have the testimonials. Yes, we have added here a link to buy the sensors, which is the same link as you get when you launch a recording and you are not still connected. So you have here a link, which is buy the BioCoherence sensor. There is one novelty on this. If you use your invitation code, if you go to your invitation codes, okay, so let's open the invitation code. So you go to settings, invite friends, and you can manage your different invitation codes. You have no new personalization options when you use these particular invitation codes. So you can, you still have code name and notes which are only for you. You can get your invitation code here, but you can change the welcome text, your logo, your website information, and your buy the sensor URL if you have an online shop. So that and some technical perks. Yeah. Okay, so if you enter your logo, well, the logo is optional. Everything is optional anyway. But if you enter your URL and your buy a sensor URL, people using your invitation code will see your logo here on top of the app. And when they try to buy a sensor, they will directly open your shop. So as a partner, it's a good thing that you can use your invitation codes and people can then be directly redirected to your website. So for instance, if I enter an invitation code for, what was it? And if you use your master invitation code, which is shorter like that, it will take the first one. So it will take the information from your first one. So if I enter R20 here, of course, it's already activated. Let's try this one. At 20 hours. Let's hope this one has not been activated. Yes, okay. So you see, your welcome text will replace our welcome text. Your logo will appear here. The learn more will just open your website. And now your logo will be on top of the app. So as a partner, if you want to brand the app with your logo, this is possible. The last thing was the perks. And if you want to go to the perks, it's a bit more complicated because you cannot directly edit them here, but you can save them. You can change the personalization of your app with the interface and all the settings, menus and zones that are shown and so on. And you can then save this into the perks so that the same personalization that you did will be done for your new clients. So in that way, for instance, it will be possible to put one basic program front and center of your choice when people use your code. And it's, for instance, very useful for our new partnership with an English vision company. We suggested the 1010 vision front and center when people use their code. So this is something that will allow you to go into personalization of the app.
You might need to mute it.
Yeah, it's done. What's up on the news? I'm not sure. I've lost my news pages. Yes, okay. Another nice thing in the latest update, if you go to another program that you can share, you now have a share link here on top that is easy. So you can just copy these different links. And when you use this URL, it will directly open the app if the app is existing. But if it is not, let me show you how it looks like. I have to share another image. Sorry, app. So how do I do that? Safari. Yes, that's it. Okay, so I just clicked on the link, which is the same than you probably sent to your clients. And it looks like that. So if you have the app, it will just prompt you to launch the app. But if you don't, you will see this preview directly. So this is a web page. This is a web page, by the way. We are now on the web. So you can open in BioCoherence to have this. You can install the app. And you can directly play this basic program in the browser. So when you share a basic program now, if it's a public program, you can just send this address and it will directly be playable for your clients, which is very nice without the app. We will do the same with a preview for when you share a list or when you share a report or things like that, so that we have a nice preview directly on the website. In the same spirit, when you install the app, it will remember your invitation code here. And it will copy it in the clipboard. And when you install the app, it will try and read the invitation code from the clipboard so that people install the app and directly get their invitation code active into the app. So it's not 100% guaranteed that we can just copy it and paste it from the clipboard, but it's the only way to pass the invitation code that you will use into the app. The main usage from this is when you use your own invitation code like A20 or something and so on, which is your personalization code. It will try to keep it. And even if people are new to the app and install the app, when they install the app and launch it, it will read from the clipboard. And if it finds your invitation code, it will directly ask the user to apply it. So in this way, you should be able to invite users with just a simple URL that looks something very simple like, let me go back to it.
How long are those going to be in those samples? If we send that to somebody, they're not getting the whole thing. They're only getting part.
You are playing the same as, so this is a pre-computed MP3 that you are playing, and it will be the same as this one. So the 20 minutes or something like that, pre-computed MP3.
Oh, okay.
So when you share the MP3 by clicking on share here, you can send the file to someone. But if you share the basic program, you can just send this URL and people can just play it from internet, which is even more convenient than sharing it as a file, because Sometimes you send an MP3 to a user and it doesn't really know what to do with this file. So sometimes it's even easier to just send an URL, and this URL allows people to just directly play it. Of course, if people have the app, they can use play only a selection and get a focus only on energy, for instance, and body and mind. And now they will be able to anyway play the real-time boost in its full length because everything will be pre-computed. So it's better. And I think that's all I wanted to show you about tomorrow's release. So starting tomorrow, it will be possible to share the basic programs more easily. And maybe when we share it, the file, we could ask to share as a URL or to share as a file. I don't know. Or you just go back and you have this share option here with the invitation code. Hop. Sorry, that's it. Tu veux en parler alors? Okay.
Thank you, Medric. That's a wonderful feature upgrade.
I think so, yes. And we are trying to make things more simple for people entering the app for the first time. So I think this 10-point introduction is a good thing. We are also working on a 7-part introduction videos with Stephen. So this will be also something that we will use also for sending an email every day for new users to just get them acquainted with the most important features of BioCoherence. And I think in adding the video search right into the app with this way of asking a question and directly having a video answer will also be really interesting and will be part of the next update.
Yes, it helps people really start off in coherence instead of having right? So you start them off with this feature and they fall right into coherence. And that's what BioCoherence is for.
Okay.
30 minutes of questions and answers.
Christine wanted to explain a little bit how she works with resources and priorities. But first, maybe you have some feedback or questions or nice testimonials. I don't know.
I do on the autism one.
Great.
For Christine.
Okay, Christine.
I have a client who's a 5-year-old was diagnosed with autism, and he's starting to speak more. She's not using the frequencies as often, but I've spoken to her, and so she was going to try and do more. And she's got 5 children, so it's a task to do it. But I said, well, and she says, I try and do it while he's sleeping. So I just wanted to let her know that her things and the I feel ill, lots of clients have been coming back with that, helping a lot. The digestive one too, like what she's doing, I applaud her, like, thank you, keep doing them. There's more I could tell her to do, just some basic ones, but they're so good, so thank you.
What program are you using?
Like the personal energy, the body.
Yeah.
You know, the one with I think it's the mind one for the kid.
T'avais fait un programme autisme?
What?
For autism.
Is it the emotional relaxation?
No.
It now has an image since yesterday because it was lacking an image.
Oh,
There it is. That one, yeah, the autism spectrum. The one that's not in English.
It was not yet translated?
The last time that I talked to her, it was not, no.
Okay, so now you can just update the basic programs if you want by clicking here on this little update button. When you do that, it will reload everything from the server, and now it is actually translated, and it has an image and so on.
Okay, well, I mean, the last time I looked at it, it wasn't, so it's
And
great.
this
I
one,
knew it
we
was.
also have a very good feedback on this one. And I think Christine is, well, she will speak a little bit. I think she's currently working on adding stimuli on top of the different programs. So I'm not sure which one sur lequel tu as déjà rajouté les stimuli.
Ah.
What is them?
Sur Hello Everybody. Sur dépression, sortir de la dépression. Getting out of
okay.
depression.
Ah, mais justement, il faut que je le mette à jour. So let's update. It's done. And getting out of depression. Ah, tu les as peut-être pas mis à jour sur le serveur. Okay, anyway, she's working on adding some items to make them even more powerful.
Bonjour, Christine. Comment allez-vous?
Non, ils y sont pas encore. Ah, si. Okay, let me just show you. So this is the program, and by the way, this is also new. When you are into a basic program, you now have the title on top of the Harmonic Boost because it was somehow missing. So yes, you've added some items, you know. So she's basically in the process of updating several programs with stimuli.
Is there one for pneumonia?
For what?
Pneumonia?
Pneumonia?
Yeah.
Ah. You say pneumonia?
We call it pneumonia.
Pneumonia. Okay, you don't say the P.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure, that's the screwed up American thing, you know.
Good to know. Well, we could,
Yes.
of course.
Du coup, tu expliques pas?
Tu veux que j'explique quoi?
Je sais pas, les stimuli
Ah bah si tu veux.
qu'on a rajoutés.
Okay. So she just wanted to explain this new stimuli, maybe?
Well, it's logical. It's,
Everybody should know.
no,
Yeah.
but it's not a big deal. It's just I add the
Alors, attends, je vais le remettre là. Tac. Vas-y.
the hormones,
Hormones.
endorphine, melatonin, serotonin, whose synthesized, aide-moi,
Fabricated.
make it by the hypothalamus. And yes, and the serotonin too. It's important. It's about serotonin was make it
Made, yes.
in the intestine. Okay, so it's
Tu expliques pourquoi tu les as rajoutés?
because
Expliquez. So my question is, why did she add these particular items?
because they are the molecule of the happiness, and there are a lot.
Connection.
And
Une connection. De la connexion.
for
Peut-être
oxytocin, but there is no oxytocin. And it's a good way when these hormones are fabricated and released in the body. They help a lot to go out of depression. There is a lot of studies now on this subject. So I had it. I had in this program. I had the derm and the periost, because it's about a question of feeling our own existence in our global envelope, and it's in my second book. And so I
Okay, so typically this one is 53 minutes, and the preview MP3 is probably 18 or 20 minutes max. So with the next version, everybody will be able to just play it through the app in pure length.
Bon, bah voilà, c'était comment ajouter les stimuli sur les bons endroits. Add the good hormone and add to the good organ. So it's logical.
Because every one of these, so each one of these stimulus will be played on top of the hypothalamus structure frequencies. So we will make the hypothalamus vibrate, and we will send on top of it these stimulus frequencies.
Sorry.
Okay. Okay. Anything else from your side? Stephen, you're on mute.
So in this basic program here, with all the now the priorities have been turned into protocols, and then you have added stimuli. The basic program or off the internet, they won't be able to add add extra features, add stimuli, so to speak.
The way to play from the preview URL is the MP3 export, which is the same as this one. So if you add some stimuli and you redo it by just clicking here, it will recreate this file and resend it to the server, and it will be ready, including the stimuli.
Okay, thank you.
So when you create some basic programs and you want to make them public, you can make some very interesting things, of course.
Will you guys be talking about the conference at all?
Not yet, but we should. So
yeah, just
about the conference. So let me just tell you again. I will share another window. In English, let me change the window. And by the way, if it's okay with no, not this one. If it's okay with you, Frédéric, Christine wanted to explain a little bit how she works with priorities and resources, but she wanted you to be okay with it before that. Frédéric?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you saying?
It's not a good one. I'm just messing around. And not changing the good one. Safari, that's it. Okay. Now you go to biocoherence.net/summit25, and you have a preview of the program. And you have a new link to get a quote. So you can click for pre-booking, which allows you to tell us about your, I will have to log in, of course, to tell us about the date you are here. So you just check what dates you plan to be here. If you want to make some hands-on trainings, room preferences, and so on. So this is just to know a little bit more about your plans. And you now have the second link, which is here to get a quote and to pay your participation fees. And remember, you have 15% rebate until June the 30th. So until a few days now, you have 15% rebate. So you can just add the 3 days to the basket and add additional days if you want to add additional days. And you click again to see your basket. And if you need more than 1 day, you have to go back and to just add as many days as you need.
Okay.
And if you are lost, you just send us an email and we can do the quote and send it to you if you want. If it's too complicated in the shipment, of course.
Do you think I was going to come only for the last 2 days because I'm going to continue on with Dan afterwards.
Then you don't need additional days.
I'm sorry? No.
Then you don't need any additional days. You just sorry. You just go here.
Right.
Just take 3 days, 3 nights.
Okay. Or 2 day. You don't do 2 days, eh? I'm just wondering if it's worth it. I mean, we've been on the phone now for almost a year, so I'm just wondering, is the summit going to present new things that we haven't already discussed? Is it worth it to come for the whole, more than a day or two for us?
It's a good point, which leads me to think that maybe we will have to do a little pause in our weekly webinars this summer, because we have a lot of things to present for the summit, and there will be some new, massively interesting things that will not be presented before that into the weekly webinar. So yes, it's a good way. It's a good thing to be there. If you can't, of course, we will speak about it later. But if you can be there, I think it will be very valuable.
The first 3 days are in French, though, right? It's the
Yes,
last
before that.
evening? Okay.
So just come to the summit, which will be Monday and Tuesday.
Okay. And then Dan starts on Wednesday, right?
No, it starts on Thursday. That's why we wanted to do an extension to Wednesday and do some maybe practical trainings on Wednesday or something like that.
Okay, got it.
So that we can just stay together and do the link with Dan.
Are these shared rooms or?
In our part, we have 3 nights. So it can be, for instance, if you come on Monday, it can be Monday night, Tuesday night, and Wednesday night, for instance. And if you come on the Sunday, it can be Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, if you leave Monday after the thing. But if you stay for Dan Winter's conference, his price starts only on Thursday night. So you might have to add 1 or 2 nights more. And that's why we have these options to add more nights,
I see.
which you can do here directly. And it includes everything. So the night, the meals, and what we do during the day. So just count how many days you will get with Dan and with us, and maybe add some additional days when needed. If you made a blunder and there is a problem in the number of days that you pre-book, it's not a problem. We can just adjust it almost at the last moment, because we have to confirm the attendance just a few weeks before the actual event. So reach out because you have a better deal and so on. But if you need an additional day, we can adjust at a later time if you want.
Okay, thank you.
So for the English program, it's Sunday, English only. It's Sunday, right? You want to be there Sunday?
You want to be there Monday and Tuesday. Sunday is more like we wanted to do something a little bit more casual on Sunday, because the idea was people will start arriving on Sunday for the Monday and Tuesday events. So some people will arrive maybe Sunday evening, and some people will arrive maybe Sunday morning, So the Sunday morning event will be in French, but the afternoon will be just something more informal, just to get together, to welcome new participants and welcome people just coming from the plane, for instance.
Yeah, from where I'm coming from, I won't make it to Perpignan probably until, mid-afternoon, late afternoon. So, but on Sunday, that's just the way the flights are working out.
Yes. So when you arrive in Perpignan, you can take a bus or a train directly to Villefranche-de-Conflans. And from Villefranche-de-Conflans, we can fetch you. It's like 5 or 10 minutes. Or maybe we can also arrange to see if people are coming through Perpignan at specific times and do a carpool between participants, you know. So we will just get into these specific details when we know the specific arrival and departure times from the different.
Can you repeat where you can take us from? From Perpignan, we take a bus to
From
where?
Perpignan, there are three possibilities. You can take a bus, you can rent a car, of course, if you want. You can take a bus, or you can take the train up to Villefranche. And in Villefranche, you are maybe
Villefranche. Okay, okay.
And in Villefranche, you are maybe 5 or 10 minutes from the main event place. So you can
Right.
rent a car directly from the train station or from the airport, of course. Take a bus
Just take a taxi.
or take the train. But there is a fourth possibility. When we know the arrival time and travel accommodations from everybody, if some people are taking cars, for instance, we will try and carpool everybody so that it's convenient for everybody to go from Perpignan to this place. And maybe some people will also arrive in Barcelona, you know, because Barcelona is the closest big international airport. So either Barcelona or Toulouse are maybe the two biggest airports. But anyway, if you come from Canada or the US, you will come to Paris. And from Paris, you can take a hop directly to Perpignan, which is the safest way. Because in Perpignan,
we have a very good flight from Montreal to Marseille. That's what I was taking last time. And from Marseille, we take the train to Perpignan.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's also a possibility. Marseille to Perpignan is not very convenient in train, I think. But check what is the best. Comment?
Okay.
Yeah, but it's possible, of course.
So I've been flying to Barcelona, and then from the train there, I can take the train to Villefranche or
Yes,
instead of
you can
Perpignan.
take a train from
Villefranche.
Barcelona to Perpignan and another one from Perpignan to Villefranche.
Because I think last year there had been
Yes.
a landslide.
Yeah.
Is all that fixed now?
It should be fixed, yes. I will check, but it was 1 year ago, so I hope it's fixed. But I
Well,
have to check. Yeah.
maybe I can, kind of, since this will be my second time there, maybe I can speak to you or somebody and we can just, I'll do whatever I need to do to get there. I just, it's this is only my second time. And, without having, but I mean, I bought that SIMU chip for your phone and, that really didn't work out for me. And it's not because I have an old phone. So, the internet was very, sketchy for me to try to get information to go where I needed to go.
But you should have a plan with your AT&T or whatever that gives you for $14 a day. You have your roam like home thing.
Okay, so
You
what you
should
have to
check with
do,
your provider.
yeah, what you have to do is if you use Google Maps, you just open the Google Maps from Perpignan and Villefranche and you click on Save Offline on your device. And then you have the whole Google Maps offline stored into your device. So do this from your landing point to the place of the event. And so even if you don't have any internet, you will still have the Google Maps preloaded on your phone and you can still get directions. So do this before you leave. It's a
Okay.
good thing.
Smart.
I mean, it was probably there last time. It's just, I wasn't, I guess I'm not as computer savvy as I thought.
It's always tricky when you go to countries that you don't know and you don't know the directions and so on. So the good thing is just preload the map on Google Map and you will get all directions locally and everything will be stored on your phone. And then if you ask French people, they don't speak very well English, but usually they are nicer than you could think.
Yeah. Well, I can always do the Translate app, and I'm
Yes.
getting
Yes. But
Babel,
for
so
that,
maybe I
you
can.
need internet too.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there are some translation apps that you can use offline, but
Or just just get Babbel. Maybe I can, learn. I mean, I took French in high school, but that was many, many moons ago. I
No,
don't
I
remember
mean,
any of it.
if you have the Google Map preloaded into your phone and maybe you print out the directions to get to your place, you can just ask anybody in the street, and with just the printed direction, it can help you. So if you are really lost, just have a printout of where you want to go, and basically anybody can help you if you are really lost. But maybe the best thing is to just rent a car if you land to Barcelona, for instance, and you don't want to have the complications of taking several trains and buses and so on. You can just rent a car in the Barcelona airport, and you have 2 or 3 hours of ride from Barcelona. So you will have 1 hour from Perpignan, maybe 3 hours from Barcelona, maybe a little less than 3 hours from Toulouse, and maybe 4 hours from Marseille, if you rent a car. So again, when we have the plans from
But then you have to navigate.
When you do the pre-booking, you can just explain here your landing dates and places and so on. And when we have all of this information, we can just share them and maybe do a WhatsApp group or something like that, to just organize the whereabouts of everybody for the summit.
Mederick,
and for the Fractal U conference, because that's a question from Steve, there is a link here, so you can just click here and find a way on this web page to reserve. I don't know exactly. There is probably a link somewhere on the page.
Just Steve, from that Fractal U website, just click on the geometric model so you hook up with Tufan, right? And then now he has your email address, and that's the quickest way to do it. And just fractalu.com, look for geometric models
and just get in touch. Just get in touch.
Yeah, and then he'll send you the information and a link. And that's how I did it. So
awesome. Thank you.
Mederick, in your conference, are there shared rooms?
Booking contact.
Est-ce que vous m'entendez?
Yes.
Sorry. Are they shared rooms or single rooms?
As you wish.
That's an option on there. Okay.
That's an option. We have single, double, or triple.
Okay, got it.
It depends on you.
And is the link? I'm sorry, I didn't hear from is the link on the BioCoherence website, or?
So this one is biocoherence.net/summit.
Summit. Okay, good. Okay.
I will just, you know what? I will send an email anyway to everybody about that, but I just pasted it into Zoom right now.
Okay, thank you.
But I will send a reminder.
Summit 25, it says, right?
For the early bird anyway. Ok, tu veux parler un petit peu de ressources et priorités? Ouais, if everything is okay with the summit, maybe we should let Christine talk a little bit about how she works with resources and priorities. So here you are.
Yes, Frederick, can we share the screen of your scan or no?
Yeah, it's okay. You can if you want. Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Something new, by the way. Let me share that. No, it's not a good one. Up. To just prepare for the new clinic work and so on, you now have less contacts when you click on contacts. So you search for contacts here, and you can just search for a name, and you see there is a little icon from Christine on the left, which means that Frédéric is a client of Christine currently. So this gives me an information. So when we activate the new functions to work as a group of therapists, you will have this information of who is working with who directly. So, c'est ça? 18 juin?
Oui, oui. Priorities.
Priorities, okay.
Yes.
It's loading. Qu'est-ce que tu veux montrer?
How to understand some positive point into the priorities.
Ça s'affiche pas.
Are some of these biomarkers new? Have you added these or have they always been there? Just quickly scanning the screen. Some of those look new to me.
Which one? No, it's there are no new items here.
Okay. Okay.
Je vais l'ouvrir avec un autre parce que je sais pas ce qui se passe. Attends. Okay, let me just reopen it. Je vais commencer à expliquer. Hop.
Because maybe it's difficult to understand how some positive words are in the priorities, and I will just explain how to take it, how to understand it with a concrete example. It's simpler to, it's easier to understand.
Il est pas là. C'est pas là.
Ah.
Bon, laissez-moi.
Non, c'est pas le bon. Mais il n'y a plus. J'ai perdu l'enregistrement.
Non. Je regarderai ce qui se passe.
Je l'ai sur l'iPad, si.
Ouais, éventuellement. Oui, si tu veux brancher l'iPad, on peut partager aussi. Juste tu montes l'écran et puis voilà.
Oui. Ça va marcher, ça?
Oui.
Ok. Comme tu veux.
C'est pareil, ça marche pas. C'est ma version de travail et j'ai envoyé.
Ah,
Okay,
oui.
so of course I'm working
So
on
on my version, it works very well. So you remember this screen? Où est-ce qu'elle est la caméra?
Elle est là. Là.
Ah, voilà. You remember this sort of screen with priorities. So normally you know it when you click on priorities. So take.
Parce que,
Yes, it's about the scan. Yes. So, for example, I take the line of motors in French on mine.
Moteur, drives.
Drives. And Frederick asked me why there is, for example, euphoria. It's a good word in English.
Oui, c'est ça.
yeah, euphoria, same in English.
Yes, because it seems to be a good thing. So why it is in the priorities? And it can be a different reason. And for example, you have a problem of euphoria, a problem of le rire c'est loathing, a problem of take things with légèreté, comment on dit, with lightness, with c'est comme ça qu'on dit,
ouais.
Légèreté. Maybe there is a thing about No, in English. Maybe there.
En français, c'est bien.
Ben peut-être il y a des choses qui. Je mélange dans ma tête les deux langues. Peut-être qu'il y a des choses desquelles les gens rient et on n'a pas envie d'en rire. Comment on dit ça?
Things that make people laugh, but it's not funny for you.
Yes. So, and we understand, for example, for Frederick, it's a question of bliss because it is work life, create a space with sacred geometry, which is oh, maybe Frederick, you can explain that.
Mais c'est quoi au juste? Je comprends pas au juste où tu vas avec ça.
Bah, en fait, j'aimerais bien que tu expliques comment on a fait le lien avec la priorité euphorie et avec, en fait, toi, ce qu'on va accompagner, ce que tu peux accompagner dans ce travail. Tu vois? Puisque l'idée, c'est d'accompagner ce concept. Donc, je voulais juste que tu expliques que tu avais fait un travail, toi, autour de Bliss et autour de ton travail sur la géométrie.
Oui.
Et qu'en fait, ça crée un tel potentiel que ça, il fallait apprendre à l'intégrer. Tu te rappelles?
Intégrer dans moi-même.
Voilà.
C'est ça?
Ouais.
So it's a little bit complex to understand, but so what we were talking about was that the euphoria and the tolerance are in my priorities, which would seem that it's not a good thing. But it's actually something I'm working on to integrate because I'm working on a project, a sacred geometry called Space for Grace, in which I'm hoping everybody physically will be aligned in the chakras and will experience higher consciousness. That's the goal of the space. But because it's something that I'm trying to work on and integrate and draw, it's kind of challenging me. It's creating a learning experience. So it's in priorities because it's something that I have to work on, but it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah,
C'est
thank
ça
you.
un peu que tu veux dire? Okay.
Yes.
I don't know if that made any sense to anybody there. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So everybody has understood that. And about tolerance, it was a bit different. It's because maybe Frederick has not the good level of tolerance about needs from somebody, needs from other people for the context, and maybe he has to work to go comment on dit aller vers to go to more
Towards.
respect of himself and a little a better balance between the tolerance comment on dit par rapport aux autres
Towards others.
tolerance others
Towards
others and his own needs. So it's not because there is a lack of tolerance. It's because maybe for him, especially, it's because maybe there is too much tolerance towards others and not enough to keep a balance inside and respect for his own needs. Okay. So
yeah.
when
So
you
that was
have
for me.
this
Yeah.
sort of information, you have to talk with your clients to understand what this concept means to him and talk a little bit about and clarify the concept with him to comment dire accompagner, to accompany accompany the process of evolution of this person. Okay.
So is that a little bit, just to clarify the context, I was saying, why are good things in priorities as a general principle? So she's explaining that it's not that the tolerance, for example, isn't good. It's that it's too much and I have to work on it because it has a negative impact on me, stress-wise, because I'm too tolerant for things
Yes.
rather than dealing with them right away.
Mm. Yes.
So would that be like adding to the opposite, like in drives or the me inside, me outside, and others? So you would add
Mhm.
to instead of it's over constructive, you might add to the destructive part would be over because it's not addressing the self, like on the me inside. So you would add more to
Mhm.
constructive. Is that what you're saying, Christine?
Alors,
I-
tu me traduis. I'm sorry, just moderate, translate me because.
Je suis pas sûr d'avoir suivi.
Bah oui, c'est pour ça que je te demandais de me traduire.
Oui, je sais. Can you come again? Sorry.
Well, I mean, I see, when she was saying it's, tolerance, it's the way I heard it, which, that's kind of a hindrance for me, but something, even if it's a good thing, maybe it's too much of a good thing. Okay. And
Mhm.
so when you work on it,
It's not positive, in fact, because it's imbalance. So yes, too much of a thing could be imbalance, could be not positive, in fact. Not the quantity which is the positive thing. So yes, in fact, you're right.
well, thank you for that. I'm just was wondering also like where you might pick that up in which module, which screen. Like I was saying, and I believe it's the drives, the screen that has the me inside, me outside, and others.
Yes.
And then you've
the
got
drive.
the 7.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So then you look at that, and then there's the constructive and the destructive. Now, sometimes I also pair that with acupuncture points, but I was just wondering where, I mean, you have several gifts, and maybe I have those gifts in me. They just aren't expressing right now. So I need to use the modules to see if it's, well, yeah, maybe that is too much of a good thing. I guess that was my question, to see how and I'm not speaking necessarily for Frederick. We're using Frederick as an example, but for some of my other clients, maybe, you know, uh, in other words, the path in biocoherence that you used, or that I would use if you did not use the path, you just used your gifts, to, maybe address that in another way, I guess. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
yeah. Can I just make a comment? Is in having talked to Christine about this because it was confusing to me, is that our goal is balance. It's kind of the way I interpreted it. So if you've got anything too much of or too little of, it's kind of implies out of balance. And it shows up as a priority when it's out of balance.
No,
So it kind of, right?
you say the goal is balance,
Oui.
but
Oui.
I'm not sure of that. I think
This,
you goal is you are always in unbalance
Oui.
to avancer,
To go forward, you have
go forward.
you have to be slightly unbalanced.
So it's not exactly the goal. The goal is, like you said earlier, it's I have this to challenge, and I take this responsibility to accompany this thing in me, through me. I think the goal is to discover what is it your challenge now, and accompany it, and always like that, day after day. So there is
but
no
why is
good
it?
balance.
Okay. I thought I understood. I guess I don't. I don't
I
know.
think I think my interpretation of it is, Frederick, is that what she's saying is that throughout our whole life we're gonna have imbalances, and it is to like utilize whatever it is that we're out of balance at that point in time to like grow from it and change from it that way, but we're never ultimately going to be in balance. Or like the
No,
feeling of enlightened, like that's a
right.
tag word in America, to be enlightened, and I don't agree with that either, that one isn't supposed to be enlightened here completely, if that makes sense. It's kind of
Okay, well, that's a bit of a different conversation. I'm not
right.
sure.
Thank you.
But
I digress.
yeah, the balance part is towards balance. Not that it's in perfect balance, but if you're out of balance in something too much, I think what's good, you accompany the out of balance towards balance. Est-ce qu'on pourrait dire ça, Christine? Quand on n'est pas équilibré, on veut aller vers l'équilibre.
En fait, oui, d'une certaine manière, mais comme on avance toujours in English. Yes, you're right.
Si tu veux, je traduis.
But quand on avance, on pose un pied et puis on se déséquilibre tout de suite pour poser un autre pied. Mais notre seul équilibre, il tient en juste quelques secondes et puis on est déjà à nouveau en déséquilibre.
Oui, en
Poser un
mouvement.
autre pied.
Okay.
Ben, en fait, c'est
So
notre histoire.
what she says is when we walk, we are constantly moving forward in a disbalanced state to find a new balance and to make another step, which is again out of balance.
We want to touch the ground, yes, but immediately after, we go forward again.
You guys ready to leave?
Is this not just expanding our consciousness? We're learning more about ourself. It's self-realization, and these are the conscious ways of recognizing different traits within us that appear as what is balance, because it's very relative to our state of mind. So it's how we interpret good and bad and what's happening to us. And when we're looking at these priorities and things that are coming up in our consciousness, they're kind of like signs along the road of life that can teach us to better improve the things that are happening to us with our health and our consciousness. Yes?
Yes.
Does that explain it?
I'm integrating it. So
The frequencies I think, are unexplainable though. Like we don't really understand how they work. And it just shows up in our life. Like for me, I've become much more calm and not so reactive and emotionally more, as she say, in balance. But do we really know what the frequencies are actually really doing? As
Yes and no. We have sorry. We have clues through the studies that we shared a few weeks ago. We know of proof that audio frequencies can have some physical effects on, for instance, chemical reactions or nerve conduction or things like that. So we know there are links between what happens in the body and all these audio frequencies, but trying to pinpoint one exact frequency to something precise that happens in the body is very complicated because it's like trying to pinpoint what one specific molecule or atom is doing in the body. It's a very, very complex system.
Not only molecule and atom, but the movement.
Yes, and on top of that, everything is in movement and everything is in interrelationships. But what we can say about frequencies is that, to my understanding, when the human body is building up from one single cell, it builds by expanding its resonance on specific frequencies. Okay, so this is my personal view. It seems that on the initial ovule. How do you say ovule in English? Ovule?
Egg.
Egg. So the first cell that will build our future body, okay? It seems there are a lot of different receptors on the outer membrane. And when this ovule is splitting into 2 and 4 and 8 and 16 and so on, the body will start organizing around some specific locations. And these locations seem to be related to electrical and magnetical currents that are
That's right.
into this
Th-
first
There's a
connection.
beautiful video showing that. Yeah.
What, Frédéric?
There's a beautiful video showing how these molecules organize electromagnetically in 2, 4, 6, 8. You can see it actually. They organize geometrically.
Yes, but it becomes more and more complex. And how do you know when you start having 1 million or 1 billion different cells? How do you know that one nerve that will start on week 3, for instance, must go from this point to this point? And I think that's because these 2 points are in resonance together. So it can somehow find its way through all the cells because it will have a resonance frequency with the destination cells, and it will build up a network between the two, and this network will be linked by similar frequencies. And these kind of links are then found into our adult body, into all of our organs, but also into the acupuncture points and meridians, which are probably non-materialized, non-physical links between these different points on the same frequencies, which means that when you send an information on one acupuncture point at the right frequency, it will just go up specific links that are into the extracellular matrix. So comment ça s'appelle?
Tissus conjonctifs.
Les tissus conjonctifs, conjunctive tissues, which are, by the way, piezoelectrics. It means that it can transduce electricity into movement and conversely. And there have been several studies that show that into the connective tissues, you can find the acupuncture points and the meridians. And it can lead these messages through these resonant frequencies from one point to another. And you can actually light up a meridian and you can see it with a thermal image camera, for instance, if you apply the proper frequencies to these meridians. So it shows that the relationship between these acoustic or electromagnetic frequencies and what happens in the body can be shown. So yes, we don't know exactly how.
Water.
Yes, and water is very important too, and so on. So there are really a gazillion of different mechanisms that are involved, but we know that some specific frequencies have some definitive actions on some different kind of cells or tissues, and we can either compute or observe these frequencies, which leads us to the thousands of programs that we have into biocoherence. And we can see that experimentally, when we apply these frequencies, we can feel some parts of our bodies or some kind of emotions going up. So we can empirically, let's say, see that these frequencies have some kind of bioactive properties. But knowing exactly why these specific frequencies are having an action on this kind of tissues and so on is something that is much more complex. And even if you just look at the chemistry into the body, it's very hard to explain the full chemistry path of everything that happens in the body. It's a daunting task.
But doesn't every organ have its signature frequency, for example?
Yes.
And water is the medium that travels through the whole body. Audio sounds frequencies travel much better in the medium of water.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if you resonate at the frequency, say, of the liver, and you want to heal the liver everywhere in the body, that frequency will be transmitted to that organ and through sympathetic entrainment. I guess.
Yes.
It would resonate the liver and heal it to its proper frequency.
It,
That's kind of how I
it's,
understand how this all works.
Yes,
yes, and it creates links
it creates links. Yes.
between the liver and the rest of the body.
Because all of these structures,
Yeah.
whatever the scale, so the molecule or the atoms or the organs, all these structures have specific resonance frequencies that are physical properties. And a cell from your liver, for instance, is not exactly the same as a cell from your bones and a cell from your eyes and so on.
Right.
So
Right.
the resonance
Right.
frequencies are slightly different, but they are different enough that we can address them separately. And by playing some specific frequencies, we can put into motion the cells or the structures specifically from the liver, for instance.
Could I make a comment here?
Yes.
So, it's kind of like, and I'm going to use the internet as an example.
Yes.
So when you have a network address, so or even just an address inside your computer going from system to system, it's still a hexadecimal or number.
Yes.
Right? And then when you broadcast out to the internet, okay, so now it's almost like it's holographic. It's still electrical, but it's holographic. So the signal that I broadcast out, even for this Zoom right here, it's broadcasting it to the whole world, but only the people that have registered machine language internet connections are going to pick it up. So it's similar. I mean, when you think about it, you start from one cell. Conception is male and female. That's the impression of the feminine and the masculine. And then from there it starts, okay? But each cell, until it's a stem cell, but each cell, until it gets differentiated, it still has the pattern, the information. So now that's the internal network, right? Your body is one big network. So like the network address is the liver, but so the signal is holographically expressed through the whole body, but only the components, the cells that now, because they've been differentiated, have that network address. So it can go through each cell. It's just like the light we see from the sun, right? Which is only reflected light. The ray doesn't travel like one beam of light, like a laser. It's one photon, boop, another photon, boop, another photon. And that transference is 186,000 miles per, or 182,000 miles per second. Okay, but it's still the same thing. It's holographic, right? So it doesn't, it's just a wave that passes through every individual component. Your fascia probably, and those are your meridians. The fascias express more energy than your nerves, because your fascia is how the chakras transmit through your body. That's the connective tissue. That's how your chakras transmit the energy.
I am so agree with that.
But you have to have then the harmonic boost must be based on the knowledge of the specific signature of the particular organ for it,
Yes.
right? Otherwise, it wouldn't work.
Yes. So this comes from,
Okay.
there is research on this subject since very long, in fact. And for one part, we have maps of thousands of frequencies that are already attributed to organs. And for one another part, we have our own research and theories that allows us to have some specific frequencies that were found nowhere else, that can be found into the structures or into the stimuli. So, in fact, a lot of the frequencies that you will find into BioCoherence are really specific to BioCoherence. Whereas some of the other frequencies can come from existing research around either bioresonance or Rai frequencies, for instance, or this kind of different researches. You have the Van Gelder frequencies that are really interesting. So there have been a lot of research since more than 100 years on these
Mm.
all these different researchers, plus our own researchers are integrated into BioCoherence.
Mhm.
Yes, Leon.
Do you integrate biogeometry, Ibrahim Karim, into this?
Yes.
Do you know him?
From what?
Ibrahim Karim, biogeometry. It's a whole science, a graphic resonance of organs and knees and every part of your body.
Okay, maybe.
Have you heard of
I,
him?
I can tell
No.
for sure, but
Okay.
we used a lot of different sources, so probably yes. Hmm.
Mm.
Leon, you wanted to say something? Leon.
Hello?
Maybe muted.
Oh, yeah, sorry. No, I was just switching my Bluetooth. I'm in the car as always. Hi everyone. I was just wondering, you don't have much on homeopathy, and I've had two clients that have bought the devices or want to buy the devices, but they're homeopathic, and there's not much. I mean, there is the miasm.
I'm sorry, but I have. It's very difficult to understand you.
Let's see if I can sort something out. Let me see what have I done wrong. Hello? You hear me now?
It's much better. Hmm.
Yeah, sorry. My two latest signups, and I think there's like three people actually. Is homeopathy. So there's not much there for homeopathy. You've got the miasms, which is good, but obviously I don't know how much you guys know about homeopathy, but it's yeah, it would be nice to add an AI an AI homeopath.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
I think that would be a really good idea because yeah, there's quite a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like I literally got three homeopaths that want to buy the device. And yeah, it would be nice. And my wife as well is studying to be a homeopath, so it would be a good thing for her as well.
If you have suggestions for new AI helpers, you can just send us messages, for instance, because at one point we will add a bunch of new AI helpers, and I don't think we had the homeopaths in our list yet. So it's a very good suggestion.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'll add that as a suggestion. Cool. Thank you.
Okay.
Well, speaking of adding AIs, and you may not be able to do this, but you may be able to do it through yoga or Ayurvedics. I know I keep asking for this, and it's a recording, but the hot, cold, wet, dry aspects of the doshas or the herbs, or if you could integrate that somehow, that would be you combine that with homeopathy, and homeopathy is a way to standardize tinctures. That's something because you always use the same water and 1 drop per 100 milliliters. And then you can really standardize uh, your tinctures or your homeopathic remedies, or and you're just giving them by adding these different concepts because those fit right in with homeopathy.
Okay.
And anyway, thank you.
Okay, I'll look into it. Maybe we should stop here because we're already at 1 hour and 20 minutes.
I
Yes.
need to get ready for my next meeting. Thank you all. This has been a very great. Thank you, Christine. Thank you, everyone. I need to get ready for my next Zoom at 9 o'clock. So I'll see you guys next week, if not sooner.
Yeah. Okay. So we are doing another one next week, and then we'll see what we do during the summer because we will probably not be available every week. So I think about a schedule for the summer, and we will just talk about it next week. Thank you, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Later.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
See ya.